December 5th, Friday, 1:41 p.m. I just wanted to make a note of something interesting that happened. So I went on a little walk. I was walking my cousin's dog for them. And plus I needed to get outside because I haven't been for a walk in a while because it's starting to get colder, and I don't know, I look outside and it looks so uninviting. And so I just feel I just haven't done it. But I felt like I should today, and it was gonna help me too, but also it was helpful for my cousins. And and that's who I'm living with right now. And so I was walking the dog, and then I ended up, and I didn't know. Anyways, the point is, I was walking the dog, and then when I came back, I saw one of my cousins cleaning his car, and then I complimented him on it, and I just to tell him oh, I could learn a thing or two. Thought it was cool that I admired him for cleaning his car, and that I was telling him I admired that he cares for his car, and it inspired me to care for mine better, which has been a lesson in the past with me with needing to take better care of my car, but not only my car, my things in general, because that's like energy. Like if you take care of your things, then that's also like the habit that you're building. It's like you care for the things that you think are important, even when it comes to your car, or electronics, just certain things. I've been a little bit careless, and it's like, if you are careless with your things, then why would you get more things, or things could easily break down because you're not even caring about them, right? So anyways, it's like what you put out you get, right? So even that applies to caring for your car. If you want your car to be in good standing, and all the stuff like that, then you need to care for it. So anyways, the point is, um it's also just a good practice, because if you're learning to care for anything, you're building that you're building the muscle to take care of things, and to be I guess when it comes to that's one of the quote unquote adult responsibilities of anyways, moving on. Okay, I'm ranting too much. Okay, so he told me, he said he usually takes his car to the car wash, although at that point he was washing his rims or cleaning his rims. And then he said, so yeah, he said he usually takes his car to the car wash using his monthly membership. And then that made me think, my grandmother, who passed away a couple years ago, love you, Pukadu. I call her Pukadu. Don't ask. We call each other that. But it made me think of her, and how she had a monthly membership, and how she had told me that a person that her boyfriend that she was with for a long time put her on to being on the monthly membership, and made her a part of his monthly membership, so then she could get car washes every month for free. I mean, well, she paid for the membership, but then you can go to the car wash whenever, how many times. And she was just saying how it's convenient, and her car always stayed clean. And I remember even going with her once, and I was just like, wow, I was younger a little bit. I mean, it was probably 4 years ago or something. And I remember thinking man, my grandma, she's just so responsible. Her car is nice. When you see those people who takes care of their things, and you're just I don't know, if you're a person who maybe doesn't, you need to do better. It does look like a mature, adult thing, I guess you would say, right? And it's you're taking pride in your stuff, and your stuff will take pride in you. I mean, I don't know if that makes sense, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. So I looked at her, and I admired her for that, right? And it makes me think of me getting into my higher self energy of no longer do you have to look at other people and be oh, I wish I was that, or I wish I had that. You become that. And then here's the thing, you be that. And then here's the thing, we don't wait, say you're single, right? And a lot of people, and even sometimes me, and what I'm trying to heal through is not waiting until oh, I wish I had a partner or somebody who was like that, so they could make me like that, or they can do this for me. No, you become that. Then you start to attract that. You know, you don't have to wait for somebody to do it for you or be, you know, this is where you become into your higher self. If you look whatever you admire for somebody, you can be like that too. And actually you should use that to then like help you to mold you into the higher self. So now when I think of my higher self, I'm like, my higher self goes and she takes care of her stuff because she wants to have a lot of stuff, right? Like, or things that she cares about, and she wants her things that she, like her car and the things that like resource her to to be sustained, like to sustain. And that's what he was saying, that he had got like a new car, and he just, so he says he doesn't really like it. Like he said, he didn't really like the like upkeep, but it's like something that he has to do because he wants to make sure that his new car stays in good condition. And that's like, it makes sense, right? Duh. But for me, like, then I look at my car and it's looking all crusty, dusty, and I'm like, oh, well, you know. So it's just like a thing for me to remember of like, okay, so now I can add that, like, you know, to the priorities, and I can use that and prioritize that. So anyways, so yeah, so you were saying he was had a monthly membership. It made me think of my grandma. You know, that's another little like past like thing of like little triggers or little things you may talk about. Which I don't like to say triggers, but you know what I mean. Little things where you have conversations or things throughout your life remind you of people who passed away. Number one, or no longer in your life. Number two, and it just like it like it triggers it, you know. And then you may have like a feeling, which could be like, oh, like a nice happy feeling, or it can trigger you to like cry and stuff like that, which I'm trying to get to, so let me focus. Okay, so then he said he has a family plan, and he said if I wanted to like get a membership, if I was thinking about doing that, he could add me to his family plan and it would give me a discount. And I was like, oh, that was nice, you know. And normally I would just like take those conversations and be like, okay, well, then I told him, I was like, all right, well, I'll let you know. But then he was like, well, actually, you know, I'm gonna be taking my daughter this weekend, and like you can come with, like you both can come together, so we can like set it up for you. And so I was like, okay. And so like, so anyways, I after that I got back, you know, to the house, and then I was like eating my breakfast, and then immediately I started crying. Like, okay, well, that's not what happened. It made me think of, I had a memory of this, like of my ex, because my ex, one of the things that I really admired about him was how well he took care of his stuff. And that was like one of the lessons that he tried to like teach me in his own way of like really taking care of my stuff. And I don't say this as an excuse, because no longer are we going to be using our past, even our childhood, to make excuses as to why we are not uh, doing the things that we need to do. But I am trying to break the cycle, breaking multiple cycles. And one of the cycles of breaking is like I didn't grow up in a family household that like took care of their things, unfortunately. And I won't say, let's just say it wasn't my mom, it was the person that she was with and then the kids that they had together. It's like if one person in the household, like the parent, one parent is trying to keep things in order, but the other parent isn't on that thing, and then the kids that you raise, they get the qualities of the whatever, then it's hard for you to upkeep that. So I feel like my mom has always had these qualities, but because of who she married, who was not that about that and wasn't listening to any of that and did things his own way, kind of just like messed that up. And so that wasn't a priority, or you know, that was just kind of like lack. So I just grew up, so just the point is, a lot of the things in the house would like break, or just certain things wasn't just upkept, right? And so I now am having to like, at first I didn't realize how like, because once again, if you grow up in something and it's normal, you know, it really, unless you really prioritize it. And even other people, because yes, there's been a lot of people in my life, like even my cousins and even my ex, who were trying to like tell me about it being important, but like sometimes something so small like that, you're like, oh, that's not even a big deal. Like you think people are nitpicking. Like even my grandma used to tell me certain things, like making sure to take care of my stuff. Not that I was like super bad with it, but I could just be better. So, and it was not the point, it wasn't really always the act of taking care of it. It was just like the practice of you learning, like, if you care for your things, your things will care for you, and it will last long, and blah 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 blah, and then which will save you money anyway, so you don't have to, all this stuff like that. So anyways, when I got back and I was eating my breakfast, I started to think, like, yeah, obviously, like, he came to my mind because he used to always not only just care for his things, but he cared for his car. He loved his car. Like, he was a big, like, one of those people who like were like big car people. So I think just the image of him, like, of me seeing my cousin um clean his wheels, kind of like made me think of, like, because that was a common thing I used to see for my ex. And I just started bawling, crying. And it just came out of nowhere. I was like, what? What? Like, what? That was so weird, And I was like, boo hoo. And I was like, dang. And then I had to, like, normally I would just, like, just not focus on it. But I was just like, you know what, Jess? I'm taking what I've learned. And it's like, I asked myself, like, afterwards, like, what are you feeling? Like, why did that make you sad? Or like what are you feeling, Jess? Like, I literally asked myself that. And then I was just saying how, yeah, like, it made me think of the person, and, like, and how they used to, and it just, like, made me think of, like, the things that they, like, tried to teach me, and the good moments, the happy moments, or, like, the positive things that I liked in that person. And then a part of me started to, like, feel sad because it's like, oh, I could see myself in conflict, because I'm like, oh man, like, I could see the other part of me, like, will I ever get that again? Like, or did I miss out on, or just, these, like, blurry things. But then the next thing that came to me was, like, but also, and then I guess I don't remember. I'm just, like, in conversation with myself at that point, and so then I'm like, oh yeah, I was sad because, he was. But then I'm like, seeing my cousin doing that to his car made me realize that there are other people who take care of their things and take care of their car, number one. I mean, number two. So my ex wasn't the only person in the world who does that. And, like, the things that I admired about my ex, there's other people in this world who do that same thing, but they also have the other healthy qualities that my ex relationship was lacking. And so imagine, like, the same qualities that your ex has, but then what was different was, like, I was thinking, like, my cousin, like, he didn't only just give me that advice, he also invited me to, like, be a part of his, like, membership. And then he invited me to, like, come with him to, like, take me there. And this is something that isn't that part. That's what, well, I'm not used to that. I'm used to, like, or what I was, it was like, within my past relationship, it was more of, like, telling, not inviting. It didn't feel like I don't know what the word would be, but that was different. Instead of telling somebody what they should do, and, like, or, like, looking down on them because they're not doing what you're doing, or getting frustrated because they're not listening, or whatever the case may be, it was like, oh, here's some advice. Yeah, yeah, of course. Or, like, yeah, this is what I do. This is the place. Actually, you know what? You could be a part of my thing, and, oh, actually, you can come with me. So that was, like, and that kind of made me think of, like, wow, that was an example of what now I'm able to, like experience, you know, like, an evolved version of, like, all the things that, like I said, like, I guess when you're with somebody for so long and you're just not used to anything besides that, you forget, like, you don't think that even though you like somebody for their qualities, once again, a lot of people have same qualities, and, like I said, it could be even better, if any of this makes sense. So it just made me realize that what I do want in a guy, but also what I do want for myself. Because let's just talk about that, right? Whatever I'm saying I want in a guy, I should be able to like practice and embody in myself, because I want to be able, I don't want to like wait on anybody or be dependent um on that, because that's not fair for me to like expect somebody to have certain qualities but I'm not even embodying it, right? That's how you create an imbalanced relationship, and then that's where the unhealthiness comes around and all the stuff like that, and you start attracting unhealthy people who blah 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 and all that stuff, who want to take and use and or whatever, all these things, right? So then I started to just say, like, really quickly, I guess I heard or gathered, like, it just showed you, like, you cried and it made you sad, or not even sad, but it made you emotional because it reminded you, yes, of past, but if you were to evolve or extract the lesson from it, it's showing you what you do want, what the qualities you do like in like people, and the qualities that you also want to embody in yourself and that you're able to, and now you can really prioritize that, and also to see, like, be excited for, like, to experience people who have those same qualities, but they don't do it in a like higher than demean, like higher than self. They want to actually, they're very happy to like help other people too, or like put people on to things. They're generous, they're open, they're they want to help. So yeah, so I hope that made sense. I just felt like I wanted to make a note of that because it just makes me think of, like, I think also when I ask myself, like, what was I feeling, or like, why did I get emotional? The first thing that I said, and I'm starting to remember these things because, when things come, but I remember the first thing that I said was grief. It's the feeling of grief when something, like I said, when I started off with this rant, that I said, like, certain things like trigger you, and you have to make sure, you have to extract the why. It's not telling you to fall back into old patterns or go back to people who weren't right for you, even if they had good qualities. It's just showing you the qualities that you want, but also you should embody in yourself. And it's like teachers, so it's just like taking that and be like, so I hope any of this makes sense. And it just, this like makes me like think of people who are grieving people and how we all go through this process, because that's so funny that one conversation triggered the two experiences of grief I've had in my life. And that's like actually grieving my grandma who passed, and that was like a happy memory. I mean, not that it was like, but the other one was a little bit, and then it was like grieving a relationship. And now I feel really good because now I can realize that, like, my cousin showed me, like, the qualities that I need to learn. Clearly, I admire, because I admired it in both my grandma and my ex. And it's just like, oh, so it's something that you want to embody. And also you like to be around people who, like, teach you things and make you want to become, like, better, but in a genuine way. So meaning, like, yeah. So anyways, all right, that's my rant for today. Think about how this has come up for you. It makes me also think of this. Today the moon is going to be in Cancer, which is very nostalgic. And it just makes me think of also, like I've talked about, this is astrology terms, of the Pisces energy, the things in Pisces like Saturn and Neptune and the North Node squaring the things in Sagittarius, which is the Sagittarius Sun, Sagittarius Mars, and also soon to be Sagittarius Mercury. And it's like Sagittarius energy is like getting, like exploring new territory, new life, having fun, like kind of just like exploring, being like, it's like open to new now, open to new experiences, new people, people who teach us things, right? Which my ex had Sagittarius energy, so that's I clearly, it's not, and I have to like tell myself as I'm still healing, and don't want to feel like I need to go back to something that I know it wasn't good for me, but I can still extract the lessons, and I can know that I really admire people with Sagittarius energy because I love to learn and I love people that can teach, and that is something that that is what I'm learning, that I do like. And it's funny because my cousin actually has a lot of that was washing his car actually has a lot of Sagittarius energy as well. So it's like, yeah, this is a common theme. So now I can take the person out and just extract the qualities that I like, that I want to embody, and that I also like, I realize I like to be around. But like I said, but it being in a genuine way and not like in a negative way, if that makes sense. So um and then but yeah, so so that's what I was gonna say with the squaring energy, is like us opening up to new experiences and liking to be around people, or we're learning new things, but we're also going, it's squaring the Pisces energy of like, even though we're feeling excited and kind of like a lot of we're starting to feel like, okay, we're pushing past like the past, or we're like, we're progressing, but then there will be certain triggers from like loss that we had, and like grief and stuff like that. And that's the Pisces energy and like the healing. So even as we are opening up now into our new timelines, and things are shifting and moving forward finally, and we're probably experiencing more fun or lightheartedness, there will be some things that still like trigger, like make us, remind us of the things that we're healing. And it's not for us to go back to those things that was closed out for a reason. It's for us to just heal, continue reminders of healing. And that is pretty much what I just did. I cried, then I started to talk to myself and lean into it. I asked myself, like, why did that make you emotional, Jess? And then seeing what comes up, So this right here, I think, is a good representation of the Pisces square Sagittarius energy. Because before this, I was feeling so good. I haven't even I was like actually so proud of myself, because I'm like, wow, like 5 months later, and I'm like, I really feel good. Like even earlier this morning, I was like thinking like, dang, Jess, like you're really healed. Like, I mean, not healed, but you're like really progressing to the point where you don't even like, you don't have those feelings of wanting to go back to your ex, or like feeling like, like having that back in the back of your mind of like the what ifs, or like it's not as strong. What's stronger now is like really excited to meet new people and start my new life. So my old life is really like dwindling away, and I'm starting to really like be happy about it instead of sad. I'm excited for the new. I'm excited for all the, people, the people that I'm like meant to meet, and the experience I'm meant to have, and this new independence that I'm feeling of like loving this time with myself, but also being excited for the times that I'm supposed to meet. So it's all just like, wow, like I'm starting to feel more joy instead of like the sadness, but then getting like that, and then even having the, even the thought when I was walking the dog of like, when I look back on my relationship, like I feel really happy. Like I'm so, like he was I was just even talking to the dog, because the dog, I'm really ranting at this point, whatever, but the dog had like used to love my ex like more than me. And I was just joking with him, I'm like, because we've had experienced our bond, like we've grown our bond since I've been staying at my cousin's. Like I would help out with the dogs often, with this dog often. And I was saying, telling Cody, which it, anyways, well, I don't know if that's the dog's name, I don't think it's important, but I was telling the dog like, see, now you like me better, right? Or something like that. And then I was saying, you know, I was just saying, like, yeah, we're so grateful for the experiences and the memories that we had with, like, my ex, and all the lessons we all learned, and we provided for each other. And I was just saying, like, he's a good man, and I, and I was just like feeling happy about everything, and just saying that I wish the best for him. And just feeling like being able to say that now and really mean it and feel really good about it. But then, once again, then not too long after, getting triggered, and then it making me feel like certain sadness and things coming up for me to like talk myself through, and then realize, okay, this is what it's showing me. So anyways, life is funny, healing is funny, it's definitely not linear. And even grieving and all the stuff like that, you just gotta lean into it. You can't just push these feelings back. You have to ask yourself, talk to yourself, like, why did that trigger you, Jess, or person, or whoever your name is? Ask yourself questions. And if nothing doesn't come up immediately, if you're not used to it, then just give yourself time. But I feel like if you do ask yourself, things will come up. And maybe write them down so you can like know, just in case that happens again, you remember, you have something to reference. All right, love you, talk to you later, TTYL.